All right, West Virginia fans, another win, 12-0 at home. So the West Virginia fans, you guys are absolutely showing out at the Hope Coliseum. West Virginia is now 12-0 at home, 3-2 in the Big 12, and the season is still alive. To talk about it with me tonight, who works at NJ.com, worked at the Daily Athenaeum, our favorite friend, our favorite guest on the show, Amit Batra. Amit, how are we feeling tonight?
Feeling great, man. I think it was a big win for the team. I thought just staying perfect at home and kind of grinding this one out. I think big win for the group.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot to take from this one, and I can't wait to talk about this one. So, in tonight's live show, we'll talk about the most recent basketball game that just happened and Trey Eaglestaff's big night. And we'll also talk about some players coming in and some players going out as this roster overhaul continues. All right, before we do that, if you're a West Virginia fan, please remember to like and subscribe to Jersey Eer. We really appreciate all the support. With that being said, let's get into the show. And as we do that, Coop says, let's go BTA, which everyone knows what that acronym means if you are under the age of 35. So absolutely. If not, go watch Michael Irvin after the Miami games. Then you'll know what that acronym means. Anyway, hey, let's get into it. So let's go back to the first half, Amit, and take a look at this one. WVU got off to a hot start. You could tell early, Amit, it was just going to be one of those nights for Trace and Eaglestaff.
Yeah, I mean, started, I believe it was 5 for 5 from the field. And, I think we were waiting for this type of performance. I mean, we all know what he's capable of, but I think now he's just looking way more comfortable out there, right? Especially on the offensive end. And it's much easier when you start to see some shots fall. Absolutely. So I thought, he was aggressive. I think he was able to exploit some mismatches as well. And just love to see it because, I mean, tonight was basically his night.
Coop said that's why we paid him $1 million for. Yeah, not sure exactly what he made. I'm sure that is a number that's being floated around there. But this is why we brought Trace and Eaglestaff to West Virginia for nights like this. When Honor didn't have it going originally in that first half, Trace and Eaglestaff really got the team ignited and got us off to a really strong start. So shout out to him. He's someone that the fans have really been hard on early on in the season because of the expectations that have been put on him. But he looked like a guy that belonged in the Big 12 tonight and had a very, very good performance from Trace and Eaglestaff. Amit, another one of the things in your note is we dominated the glass tonight, man. Yeah. Offensive rebound and second chance points was the theme in that first half.
Yeah, 100%. Especially, the first half. I mean, Harlan Obioa, I think, did some good things as far as rebounding, as well as the Eaglestaff. And, they pretty much dominated, especially early on the first half. So it's great to see. I mean, it's huge when you have, a rebounding advantage in the Big 12. And I think, getting that guy in foul trouble as well in Colorado, right? I mean, their center, that was big time.
Dude, he fouled out with like 18 minutes to go in the second half. I've never seen anything like that. That was definitely interesting. And, a lot of their guys had trouble. By the way, the Denver Broncos just beat the Buffalo Bills. So pour one out for the Buffalo Bill fans. I was rooting for you guys. It's just they just look dejected right now on the field. So I feel bad for Bills fans. It's a great fan base. I mean, we're Giants fans, as you guys know. But anyway, and then Amit, what free throws for West Virginia right now also continue to be an issue. They shot 38% tonight in the first half from the charity stripe.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been a theme, the missed free throws, and it's tough, man, when you have, you're getting a lot of attempts, right, which is positive, right? You're getting to the foul line, but I mean, when you're not making all of them, or not, I mean, not all of them, but like even getting 70 to 80%, right? That's kind of alarming. I remember like even some of those Bob Huggins teams, right? They would struggle from the line, but he would say, you're going to shoot 100 free throws in tomorrow's practice. So maybe that's what some of these guys need to do.
Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating watching it at home. Just like, because you just assume they're going to make it, Coop just said some of these guys are getting paid, 7-figure salaries. So you hope that they could make some free throws, but I'm sure it's easier said than done. Yeah. Otherwise, everyone would make them. Let's talk about Amir Jenkins. I feel like this is a theme too that we're talking about. You said some good things from Amir Jenkins, and actually, Coop said Amir has a very bright future. Absolutely does. Amit, just what are your takeaways from Amir Jenkins? Another solid night.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen flashes of him and DJ Thomas this season as freshmen who, brought a lot of energy to the team, and I think Amir, when he's aggressive, I think he has some good ball handling ability, and he's fun to watch, man. He's flashy a little bit, and he's able to do some things, getting in the paint. So definitely thought he provided a good spark for West Virginia, especially in that first half.
And then the last note you had is WVU did a better job taking care of the ball and limiting turnovers. I think that was huge. I think in the first half, I don't think Colorado had any second chance points because of West Virginia's rebounding. And then, like you said, just limiting the turnovers. You didn't want to give Colorado any free possessions and things like that. So I think it was a solid first half for West Virginia. And then the second half comes, and we already mentioned this. Colorado was in major foul trouble and had a tough time keeping people on the floor. And then I thought West Virginia stayed composed after the Colorado run. For a second there, it was like, all right, here we go. West Virginia, I was starting to have flashbacks of the Ohio State and Clemson game.
Yeah.
Amit, is West Virginia learning how to close out games?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Colorado, I believe it was 43-42 when they took that lead. And then, they made some, West Virginia answered and made some timely buckets led by Eaglestaff. And, then Lori and Huff, like you have here, they had some big time moments as well in that second half. But, yeah, I mean, they're learning how to close. It's sometimes it's easier said than done, right? And, there's a couple games, obviously, where, it slipped away. Clemson, Ohio State, definitely up there on that list. But, yeah, I mean, sometimes it takes time to, learn how to close out games. And it seems like they're starting to figure it out.
Yeah, and another trend that's continuing is West Virginia held another opponent under 65 points. When they do that, I think they're
Yeah.
undefeated this season. So defensively, they did a very nice job tonight defensively, and that seems like the recipe. It almost reminds me of football when Neil Brown, if his teams rush for over 100 yards, he had like a perfect winning record. Same thing with the basketball team. If they hold teams underneath 65 points, you'll know you'll probably get enough offense to win. And then admit it's the first quad 2 victory of the year. How important is this for West Virginia's resume?
Yeah, absolutely. Boost the resume for sure. A lot more opportunities on the way, of course. And the Big 12 with quad 1 and quad 2 games. I mean, they had one quad 2 opportunity with Wake Forest, and they lost that game. But yeah, I know it's big. I mean, you have to. This is the time where you got to boost your resume a bit, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities. Arizona State's another one coming up in a few nights here. So I think it was big. Yeah, I mean, I think this was a huge game for West Virginia's future as far as if you want to consider obviously getting to the tournament. This was one that they need to have.
Yeah, Eaglestaff has another strong game. Absolutely. That's why I had to put Trayson on the thumbnail tonight. He definitely deserved it. He's a player that we were excited when we got him from North Dakota and South Carolina. So for us to see him start shining, and now it's not just one game. It's been he's been piecing together game by game, getting a little bit better and comfortable. And he could have a major impact if this team goes dancing. I know it's still there's still work to be done, but if we do, it's going to be in large part of Trayson Eaglestaff having nights like he did tonight. We have another comment here. Let's go. I know you guys are hyped, man. I know for me, like every win we get, it keeps the season alive. We could not lose this one tonight. In my opinion, it was a must-win game. We're protecting home court. We have a winning record in the Big 12. We have another winnable game coming up this Wednesday. That game's going to be on Peacock, so make sure you guys get your subscriptions if you don't have one for that. And let's keep this thing rolling, man. It's starting to get fun, and now it's really time to start locking in and supporting this basketball team. These guys deserve it. It looks like ever since Big 12 play started, minus the Houston game, these guys have shown up and have played hard. So they definitely deserve our support. Drumwolf said 22 for Eaglestaff. Absolutely. Like I said, I feel like we've said it so many times. He gets more comfortable as the games go on. And this is absolutely great. And then Drumwolf said, let's go Mountaineers. Drumwolf, let's go Mountaineers, baby. We're doing some good things in the portal. The football team is doing good. The basketball team has a winning conference record, and the baseball team's a month away from playing. So yeah, let's keep the positive vibes on this channel. Absolutely. So Amit, you want to look at the box score real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so let me see if I can screen share this and just see the final box score. Screen share, and let's go to the box score as best we can see it. Can you see that, Amit? Actually, hold on.
I'm still on the final thoughts here.
Let me pull it up real quick. Let me add this to the stage. I have to remove this. So many moving parts. All right, there we go.
Yeah, I got it now.
All right, so let's just look at the box score real quick because I try to zoom in here. It looks like West Virginia shot 52%, which was encouraging.
Yep.
I thought West Virginia would have shot it better tonight from behind the arc a bit. Colorado was actually the worst team in the Big 12 at a defensive three-pointer percentage. They were giving up 36%, so West Virginia shot a little low in that area. Just looking at other things, second chance points 17-8 in West Virginia's favor, and steals. Yeah, it looks like we led most of this game against these guys. I think the surprising thing was that Chance Moore didn't get much play here tonight, Amit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sometimes it's just the flow of the game. Obviously, when Eaglestaff is also having the performance that he's having, it's kind of hard to take him out, right? When he's kind of just letting it up. So, it's just I don't think it's anything to really think about too much. I mean, it's just sometimes I think it's just the flow of the game and how it's going.
So Drumwolf asked, who won the wrestling matches? I did mention that on purpose, Drumwolf. So last night, West Virginia lost a heartbreaker to Pitt. It was a very close match. It came down to the last match. The match played out exactly how I thought it was going to play out, except I thought West Virginia was going to win. It came down to a few small bonus points at a few matches. Both teams split the toss-ups. Both teams won the bouts that they were favored. And it came down to two crucial bonus points that West Virginia didn't get in the one match and Pitt got one in the other. And just that's how sometimes the cookie crumbles. We lost to Pitt, but I'd rather lose to Pitt in wrestling than lose to them in football and basketball. So they can take their wrestling win, and we'll take the football and basketball win, and then we'll see them in baseball season real shortly. He said, damn. Yeah. Dorn. He said the Eagle will open Huff much more. Yeah. I think that's what happened in the second half. It's kind of crazy, just looking at my notes that I was taking here, my handwritten ones. Huff still got his points at the end of that game. He's still
that banked three was amazing. I mean, that was a great shot.
Dude, Honor Huff's going to go down as like one of the most exciting players that we've had, true, like that in my recent memory. Listen, I've only been a Mountaineer fan for like 15, 16 years. So in my recent memory, there's been some fun ones, over the years, Deuce McBride and the kid we have from South Carolina a few years ago. What was his name again from South Carolina? I'm having a brain fart. He was Eric Stevenson. He was fun to watch. He had a chip on his shoulder.
Sean McNeil.
I absolutely love Sean McNeil, man. When he went to Ohio State, I was so disappointed, but it was cool to see Sean McNeil come back and play on that TBT team a few years ago. I really, really liked Sean McNeil. He had a nice three ball for sure. Anything else, Amit, from this one? I just want to point out too, Lorient played his tail off in that second half, and he's like the glue of the team. I feel like he does things that might not light up the stat sheet, but his presence on the team is so important. Brendan Lorient.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's so versatile and he does so many different things. He's good defensively. He'll get you some blocks. He'll rebound. Once he gets in double figures, I think this team is that much better as well, because he kind of adds that another element to the team offensively. So yeah, I think Lorient is a huge part of the team. I think I agree with you. I think he is the glue. It's nice performance once again from him.
Drumwolf said, I can't wait for baseball season. I cannot wait for baseball season. I'm going to be absolutely locked in this year. One, because the team deserves it. And two, I have to make some content over those months in between basketball season and spring ball and, all that. So I'm excited to watch them. It's going to be fun. Anyway, you guys want to talk some football? Let's do it. All right, Amit, how do you like Oregon commits to start off with? Toby Hostrup. He's coming over from Oregon. This guy has a very fascinating story, Amit. He's 6'4", 241 pounds. He's only played one season at Oregon. He only played 8 snaps, mostly on special teams. This dude's originally from London and moved to Texas, and he started playing football his senior year of high school. So I find that fascinating. How many kids nowadays, they train their whole lives to they go to the camps, they go to the 7-on-7s, they do all these trainings, they have these coaches just to go like D3 or D2. You have a dude who just started playing his senior year, but is just a physical freak on the football field and gets a scholarship offer not only to a Division I school, but to the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, no, super impressive. I think a great get for West Virginia. Obviously, I mean, he looks physically imposing in some of these pictures, absolutely. So, I think for me, I wouldn't be able to play anywhere if I started football my senior year. But, kudos to him. And yeah, I think it's a nice get. I mean, he was highly touted at a high school, and obviously a 4-star guy. And I think he primarily played on special teams, if I'm not mistaken, with Oregon this past season. But I think it's going to be a super fun get for West Virginia and another element to this team.
So we have this comment. I love this comment. How does this dude end up in freaking WV? Yeah, he goes from London to Texas to Oregon, now to the hills of West Virginia, baby.
Yeah.
You know why? Because West Virginia, remember that show Last Chance U?
Yep.
We're Next Chance U,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's the thing that we are going to build on, is that we're going to take guys that were highly touted out of high school that might have not gotten the opportunity at the big school, but now they're going to come down and they're going to make a chance to make their name for themselves at West Virginia. And I think that is a good selling point, and I think it could work for West Virginia. If we want to get better talent in here, why not roll the dice on this kid? Like I said, he's a former 4-star prospect. How many times now this class have we seen guys come from LSU, Oregon, Clemson that were former 4-stars, and now all of a sudden they're on the Morgantown campus, they're on West Virginia's campus, and they're going to be key contributors to this football team. I think it works well for West Virginia, and I think it works well for those players and their playing careers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great selling point. I think, while they might not be, the guy or the star at LSU or in Oregon, they could be at West Virginia, right? So I think that is a great selling point.
All right, I'm pretty pumped to show this guy's tape. There's
Yeah.
some mix. There's a mix of practice film in here, and there's a mix of high school film in here of his one season. Let's get to it. Let's watch this Toby Hashrip guy. So you can see him coming off the edge. He's just gonna. I mean, we don't see guys like this often that have this athleticism on the edge here.
Yeah. Man.
So I'm pretty excited to see this guy. He has some nice get up off the ball. I know it's practice film, and I know people are going to be like, well, he never played at Oregon. Well, you got to remember, Oregon recruits that position very, very well.
100%.
Very well. So why not roll the dice on this kid? Because you can't have it two ways. Some people are like, well, we have guys from Western Kentucky and Kent State, and they complain about that. But now we got a guy from Oregon. So let's see what this guy can do.
Yeah.
And you said you can't teach athleticism. Look at the swim move inside. Just a violent player. I think this guy's going to find himself on the football field in Morgantown, admit.
100%.
So again, just can get after the quarterback, and let's have a big sack. I think the football gods owe us one. A good pass rusher after what happened with Jamori Robinson.
We were calling for 8 sacks. Both of us were calling 8 sacks for one this season, and
he got maybe a half a sack, if that.
Yeah.
Watch this play. So the play's like 20 yards down the field. Here he comes.
Love that.
So I love that. I love that effort. I think that's a huge underrated deal. About finishing the play and not taking plays off. I mean, that's the opposite of what Cam Vaughn did.
I was going to just say that. Yeah.
Cam Vaughn's walking off this field. This guy's 20 yards down the field, going to sprint guys down and take them out.
Yeah.
Someone said Bruce Irvin Jr. I'm glad someone said that, because I was thinking that, but I didn't want to say that because Bruce Irvin's a first-round pick and a Super Bowl champion. So those are some high expectations, but I could see it. I mean, I could see it with the athleticism off of the edge. So Bruce Irvin Jr., I love Bruce Irvin, man. He's going to go down as one of my favorites of all time, for sure. Drummel said he gets after those quarterbacks like it's dinner. Absolutely. So this guy, maybe he can be the next fan favorite, right?
One of my favorite moments of Bruce Irvin is like my freshman year, they played USF. I think it was a Thursday night game at home. And BJ Daniels was the quarterback for USF at the time. And Bruce Irvin made his life a nightmare in that game. I mean, I don't know how many times he got to him, but it felt like every drive he was getting to him. It was great.
Dude, it's such a dominating position. The sack in football is so great. It almost reminds me of like a Giants thing. Like, remember when Michael Strahan sacked like Donovan McNabb like 8 times in a game?
Yeah.
He just made his life miserable. So we haven't had like an elite pass rusher in a long time, I feel like. The Stills were definitely probably the closest thing. But a guy off the edge like this, man, like I really like this guy's film. I think there's a lot to take here, and I think he's had a good opportunity at West Virginia. And I think if this works out, back to my original point, this could be West Virginia's selling point moving forward. Look at the guys that have left bigger schools and have balled out here when given an opportunity at West Virginia. There's a place for those guys. And if this hits, that's a recruiting pitch I'm making. Case in point, Beanie Bishop. Beanie Bishop was a nickel corner on third down situations for Minnesota. He comes here, he's a consensus All-American, right? So there is a place for people like this, and same thing for guys like Francis, man-child Francis, who's coming over from LSU, a highly touted guy. The kid that just came in last night from LSU, too, that plays safety. That's another example of this. So let's hope these guys have great seasons in Morgantown, and we can continue to get former four-stars in the fold. It definitely raises the talent floor for West Virginia. Speaking of other commitments, this one came over about an hour or two ago. Ezekiel Durham Campbell, they call him Zeke. He's 6'5", 241, another guy in the defensive line. He was third team Sun Belt. He's ranked as the 50th edge rusher according to 24/7 Sports, and he has 1 year of eligibility left. He started off at a smaller school before Louisiana Tech, went to Louisiana Tech, and then goes to Coastal Carolina. Don't have any film on this guy, but I like his size, and I think West Virginia had to add depth in that defensive line room. I think they accomplished that with the last two guys that we got.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because West Virginia opens with Coastal next year, right? So he's going to go against his old team right off the bat.
Yeah, there's a lot of Coastal West Virginia connections. West Virginia's current president, Benson, was the former Coastal Carolina president there. Right. So beautiful campus at Coastal Carolina. I'm sure there's a lot of Myrtle Beach. There's a lot of Myrtle Beach, West Virginia people. I used to vacation in Myrtle Beach, and it happened so that the 1 year was when Bob Huggins got into all the trouble and got let go by the university, or he resigned. And the entire vacation, people in Myrtle Beach were like, "Did you hear about Huggins? What's your thought on Huggins?" But I always confuse people too, when I'm at the beach in Myrtle Beach, because I have a West Virginia tattoo on my back. And people are always like, "Man, what part of West Virginia are you from?" I'm like, "Well, I'm actually from New Jersey." And then they get all confused, and I have to explain that I was an alumni and the whole 9 yards. Speaking of West Virginians, this kid is not a West Virginian, but he looks like one based on the official visit picture. I mean, Amit. Caden Luke, he's 5'11", 255. He rushed for 2,300 yards in his senior year of high school, at 29 touchdowns as a senior. You know what I like about this kid, Amit, is he was the top 215-pounder in Arizona for wrestling. So I love his wrestling background. He appeared in 12 games for Arizona last season. This guy's going to bring back the fullback. He's not committed yet, but based on that picture, it seems like he had a good time in Morgantown.
Yeah, I mean, I first of all, I love the name. I think it fits Morgantown. I think it fits West Virginia. I love the picture, and obviously, I mean, rushing for 2,307 yards and 29 touchdowns. That's as good as it's going to get, right? So, and then obviously, you bring some experience as well. So, I mean, I hope West Virginia can land him for sure.
I could see this guy after the games going to like Sports Page, and like playing around a pool. I think he'd really like Morgantown.
Yeah.
Even though he's from Arizona, I think he'd like the hills. He's got the right look, and let's see his film. Let's see if he's any good. You want to see?
Yeah.
I want to see how good this guy is. This is his film at Arizona. So he's the fullback here. So look for the lead blocker. He's right here, coming down here, and he's just gonna maul guys, right? Which I absolutely love. I know we looked at a guy at Ashland, but truthfully, I like to see this when they're playing Big 12 competition like this. And, it's exciting. He could be the lead blocker possibly for Cam Cook and Latimer and Boswell, and possibly if we get another back out of the portal. Submit, what are you seeing here? What are you liking here from this kid from Arizona?
Yeah, I mean, I like his blocking ability. He's physical, and I think he's going to bring that hard edge that that we need.
Drumwolf said Schmidt too. So we have a Bruce Irvin comparison tonight, and we have an Owen Schmidt comparison. If those guys ever got to that level, we would be in very good hands in Morgantown.
Yeah.
So I like this kid's film. I like his style. I think he'd fit well in Morgantown, and I would like to see this kid commit. Fingers crossed, that'd be exciting. He said Bruce Irvin was one of the most highly decorated Mountaineers in the NFL. Absolutely, and getting guys like Bruce in the NFL is important. I was so proud of Bruce when he made the top 100 NFL players, because I think there's a stigma around West Virginia players sometimes that they can't do it in the pros. And Bruce Irvin had a career that can hang with the best of them. So shout out to Bruce Irvin. And that guy loves West Virginia, man. He truly loves West Virginia. I think in the bottom of his pool, he has like a West Virginia logo in the bottom of his pool. And he identifies with West Virginia probably more than he does with like the Seahawks. That's how much like West Virginia meant to Bruce Irvin. So, we really love Bruce Irvin on the show. He said Schmidt too. He said, okay, runaway wine cooler truck. You heard it first. The runaway wine cooler. He said, especially after Kevin White. Yeah, Kevin White is a local guy, actually, from Plainfield, New Jersey, which is a MITS area. And then he actually played high school ball at Emmaus, Pennsylvania, which is right down the street. So funny story about Kevin White, actually, before we get on a tangent, is I used to cover West Virginia sports his senior year. So I had a press credential, and Mitt used to cover West Virginia sports too. So even though we're YouTubers in the YouTuber space now, we were once credentialed media members. And I talked to Kevin White before he actually got to West Virginia. I had a phone call with him because one of my high school friends played ball with him at Lackawanna Community College. And, it was just so cool talking to him about like, what motivates him and how is it going to be going from like Lackawanna to playing in the Big 12. And he was definitely cool to talk to. And I actually got to interview Owen Schmidt too, which is funny. You guys mentioned that. I talked to him I interviewed him in front of the Mountaineer years ago when I worked at U92. So good times there. It's fun to meet those players. Who knows? Maybe we'll get some players on this show coming up soon. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that Baylor game is one of my favorite Kevin White memories, when it felt like he was just getting a flag.
Yeah. He drew like 25 pass interference calls.
Yeah.
And he still put up big numbers.
Yeah.
Remember what was weird was when we played TCU and the guy matched up against Kevin White was also named Kevin White?
Right. I remember that. Yeah.
Very common name.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some departures in it. Donovan Haslam commits to the University of Tennessee. Played 444 snaps at West Virginia. He did some decent things. He played some guard, played some tackle a little bit, and we kind of used him as like the sixth man off the bench a little bit. And when guys were hurt, he could step in and play. Gotta be honest, pretty surprised to see him land at Tennessee. I mean, I did, in my mind, when he transferred, I didn't think that we were losing an SEC lineman.
Yeah, no, I agree as well. It kind of caught me by surprise when I saw it. And but hey, wish him the best. Obviously, once a Mountaineer, always a Mountaineer. So wish him the best.
Over under, does he play more than 444 snaps at Tennessee like he did at West Virginia?
I'm gonna go under on that.
Same. I don't know. I think he's a depth piece at best there. And like same thing with what's the dude? Ben Bogle went to Arkansas. Like I thought he was a solid player, but I didn't think we were losing like an SEC type level linebacker, So best of luck to Donovan Haslam. I'm glad he's not in the Big 12. I'm glad he's not on the schedule next year. I'm glad he didn't go to a rival.
Yeah.
Dot. Like this guy who went to Virginia Tech today. Admit, I'll give it to this one first. How do you feel about Curtis Jones going to Virginia Tech?
I mean, yeah, I didn't see that as a landing spot, but I mean, hey, I guess, best of luck to him at Tech. He did some good things, obviously, this past season, kind of both on offense and defense, right? So, I think they used him in a variety of ways, and didn't really expect him to be, a running back at times. But, hey, it was working, and it was one of the guys I was hoping would come back for West Virginia, but,
Same.
wish him the best in Blacksburg.
He had a do not contact when he went into the portal. Is it safe to say that old James Franklin tampered here in a minute?
It's quite possible.
James Franklin's turning into a huge pain in the butt to West Virginia already. He got the Daniel Jennings kid again. The second time he went to Penn State. He was a top-rated recruit in West Virginia, and then he goes to Virginia Tech with him. Now he's taking Curtis Jones. I like it better when Virginia Tech's down. I think it's better. So James Franklin going to Virginia Tech. I mean, why couldn't he have gone to like Florida? Just get away from us. You don't need to be in the 2-hour range. He's a great recruiter. This sucks. I mean, I like Curtis Jones. I don't want to see him go to Virginia Tech. I mean, I guess it's beats than him like playing for like Pitt or like Kansas or some stuff like that. But I would say best of luck, but I think that'd be dishonest.
Yeah.
So,
The Black Diamond Trophy is still in Morgantown, though. We have that
those
baby at home.
those wins will be the high point of Neil Brown's career, beating those
Yeah.
mediocre Virginia Tech teams. If they almost blew that game you were at, if they would have lost that game, dude, I was so embarrassed because my son Jack was like, I think he was maybe a month old when that game was played, or like 3 weeks old, and I'm screaming at my TV when Daggy threw that boneheaded pick right to the guy. I'm like, oh my god! And then Jackie Matthews Jr. made the play at the end of that game.
At the end, and
then of course he ends up transferring to Mississippi State.
Yeah, Letty broke one early on, and that place was on fire. It was a noon kick, and it was
because I remember watching that game when they played Virginia Tech, and they had the Gold Rush for that one, and I remember how important it was for us with conference realignment. A lot of stuff broke, and it was important that West Virginia put a good product on TV. So when you see Letty Brown explode like that on national television with the gold towels, it was a really good look for West Virginia to have a full stadium. Beating Virginia Tech's awesome. I respect the Virginia Tech rivalry. I was at the Virginia Tech game with Will Greer, and that, even though that was a loss, that was one of the best games I ever went to. How competitive that game was, and how loud the stadium was when Enter Sandman came on. It was kind of Bush League though, because it was supposed to be a neutral site, and at the end of the game, West Virginia was trying to drive down the field, and the PA speakers are blaring Enter Sandman. I'm like, I thought this was supposed to be a neutral site game.
Yeah, I remember Will Greer's hurdle. I was also at that game, and I also went to Blacksburg for the game we won on the road. Blacksburg's not an easy place to get to.
Well, I was so mad. I was looking forward to a few games, because I schedule them every year. I was looking forward to the Pitt West Virginia game, the first one returning at Pitt. Right. Would have loved to go to that one. Wanted to go to the one in Blacksburg. They moved the games to Thursdays.
It was tough.
It's very hard as a teacher to make that trip on a Thursday and take time off of work.
100%. Getting to Blacksburg from Jersey is no joke. So
it's literally, for us, 78 to 81 south the entire way.
Yeah.
The entire way.
Yeah.
Anyway, Curtis Jones. I don't know. Anyway, that's all we got. Oh, thank you. Yes. I was supposed to make a graphic on this one.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about this before we go. We'll get to some comments before we get out of here, since we're having some fun. Yes. How about Indiana losing? Amit, tell everyone the stat you were telling me earlier.
So Indiana is now 12-6, and West Virginia is 12-6. How about that? Maybe
we got the same record.
Yeah, the grass isn't always greener, huh?
So, no, you're losing to Iowa.
Yeah,
Iowa's known for wrestling.
17. Yeah,
Iowa's known for wrestling and bad offensive football. How are you losing to them in basketball?
Yeah. It's great to see. I mean, Indiana really, they started off the year pretty strong, and they seem like they're kind of falling apart now.
Me and Amit are drinking the haterade against Indiana. I hope their football team wins on Monday, but not so much their basketball team. How great would it be if West Virginia made the tournament and Indiana didn't?
That would be amazing. That would honestly be amazing.
The DeVries family would never hear the end of that if that happened.
Yeah.
I think, real quick, just talking basketball. I mean, how about West Virginia? I know we haven't had the best basketball season, but the fact is that we have a winning record in one of the toughest conferences in the nation right now. And we've had 4 coaches in the last 4 years. It just shows that there is a support system here for basketball, that we can get this thing done. We can get this thing back on the right track.
100%. I mean, and the Big 12 is so crazy right now, man. I mean, like Kansas just beat them last Saturday. Now they look amazing. And Iowa State, has lost 2 games in like 4 or 5 days. So the Big 12 is just nuts.
I'll never like Darren DeVries ever again. I think that's safe to say. I think a lot of Mountaineer fans would share that same sentiment to you. Dromolf said the sleaze, and or Ether said yeah. That he said that. Oh man, this is a fun one, man. I have another one. I mean, we did get Matt Sig and Kevin Brown, so yeah. I think I talked about that. There's the one dude in my comments, and I appreciate him. I appreciate people debating in the comments, but he's very skeptical of some of the guys we brought in. He's not happy with like Kent State transfers, and I say, just looking at the stats, if you look at On3 right now, we're 15th on 3 recruiting class, transfer portal class. Right. We have a top 25 recruiting class. I'm not sure about expectations, but I'm not sure how much better we can do than that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, who really knows, right? Until we see it on the field and we see the what happens next fall. You don't know. We're all just kind of guessing, but let's see.
You have to Yeah, like you have to remember too. West Virginia is coming off their 4th losing season in 5 years. We're not just going to get like
Right.
5-star talent in here right away. We have to build it. Let's get back to a winning record this year. Let's go to a decent bowl game, get a win, and then the donors will buy this thing more, and we'll get better players. Like baby steps. Like next year, I think. Let's get back to the winning record. Let's get back to a strong bowl. Let's climb the Big 12 rankings, and then let's keep building this thing. It will come. We just got to get we can't get into. We can't have 50 injuries.
Yeah. I mean, they got some good pieces. I mean, Cam Cook, led the FBS in rushing yards.
Dude, Kamari Wilson. No one's talking about that. That kid from Memphis is a baller.
100%. Yeah.
Man-Child Francis, LSU, man. I'm so excited for the Louisiana pipeline, the LSU pipeline that we got. The kid from Oregon we just showed tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Matt Sig, Kevin Brown, like the guy said, that those guys I think will definitely be contributors. In year one, we've brought in some really good offensive line piece. The offensive line should be a lot better than it was. Hopefully, we don't have 55 injuries at every position this year, and not to mention this team this year now, we have a bunch of guys with 2 to 3 years of eligibility left. This should not be a total rebuild next season. So we'll see. I have a few comments. He said, "I appreciate this channel." Informative, fresh, and fun to listen to. Thank you. Hey, thank you. It's been a grind. We've been putting out stuff every day or every other day. I could have some other things in the works coming up soon. So be on the lookout for that. But this channel will always remain a thing as long as they keep playing West Virginia games. So I appreciate your comment. Definitely subscribe to the show if you haven't, and share it with your friends. Let's really grow this thing. I think we're having a fun community here. And this is fun to do. So thank you so much for the positive feedback. I really appreciate you. So please don't trust the climb. Yeah, I don't think we ever want to hear that ever again. I think we're over. Do you think, real quick before we get off, do you think Neil Brown's going to take that mantra to North Texas? Like, are they going to say like the climb, or think they're going to have something?
I think you just got to flush that personally.
He could use the warm weather thing a lot in Denton, Texas.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you have fun? Did you tailgate?
Right. Yeah, it might work out better over there, but who knows?
Anyway, this was fun. If anyone's a Buffalo Bill fan, I'm sorry. It could be worse. You could be Giant fans. Although we do have 2 Super Bowls. The Bills don't have any Super Bowls.
I feel bad for Josh Allen, though, man.
Same.
I think this was kind of his year. No Mahomes in the way and everything. So
I love I like the Bills are like low key. Like when the Giants are out and the Bills are in, I root for them all the time. So yeah. Anyway, he said, "I appreciate you, fellas. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Go enjoy the rest of the football games. Let's go Mountaineers. We'll talk soon. Hopefully, there's some more bigger fish in the portal that we can get as we close this portal season strong. With that being said. Have a great night. Let's go Mountaineers. Another great win tonight. We'll talk to you guys soon on the Jersey Eer Show.